Hey, there is something on my a problem, but first I would love to meet and from that place out to try to look at it. It's interesting to observe how my attention goes from doubt and things to trust now, slowly.
Really.
Or quickly, actually.
Well, to me, I'd say you know what you love. You know what
Yes.
you love. Yeah.
Yes. And sometimes there are things where they seem to be in the way and making me confused. And
Yeah, I understand.
and it is also about someone in the Sangha who's very near to my heart. And at the moment, or I can see it's really sad for me, She came to a place that she don't want to come anymore. Because there's too much talking and too many, in her view, some people, they always come with the same thing and there's no, and seems to be no interest on that. And she is also kind of weak and ill, and she cannot take it anymore. And I told her, please bring it to satsang. But she said, no, I don't want to have that conflict on top too in the group. And also I would have the, I don't know if it's appropriate, the wish that these people, they are mostly in the back. They're also, in her opinion, more silent and more, they don't show up. And then I said to her, yeah, then you show up and be silent.
what can we trust?
That we are here.
Our perception is usually informed by our conditioning and our trauma, or collective trauma, you could say. So when there's a position taken because of perception, somehow we're, in my view, we're not in touch with what we love. And so if somehow that's what the journey we have to be on for a little while or for the rest of our time, then that's what it is. You know, there's not much you can do, because you can argue with someone's perception, but that's seems like a pointless exercise. Much better just to keep quiet.
Absolutely.
So what can we do? It's just like, who knows what's touched? If it's not brought, then obviously somehow life will have to take care in whatever way it does, or not. Clearly, there's love, and you know, you could say there's a valuing of this person, this expression of life.
Yeah.
There's no right, there's no wrong. You know, it's like that.
It's funny how I now feel much more my whole body. It's like from tip to toe, top to toe. Thank you very much, Isaac.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Christina. Hi.
Hi. There's so much like rage. I feel like I'm gonna do something really bad. Just gotta be here fully.
Yeah, you know, rage is a strong emotion, and it really pulls our attention. And often, there's an automatic wanting to get rid of it because in some sense it's not okay. that all rage is really telling us that there's something that wants something to be different. So it's a useful question would be just to ask, what is it that that rage wants to be different?
Doesn't want to be controlled.
Doesn't want to be controlled. Okay. So that's a clue then, yeah? So now we can explore, like, there's a perception of being controlled.
Yep.
So the rage is related to that perception that you're being controlled.
Mm.
Yeah. So then if we want to go deeper into it and see, okay, in this moment, how could you control me?
I couldn't.
Okay. In this moment, how could I control you?
Couldn't I?
Okay. In this moment, how could you control yourself?
Like I control myself all the time.
Can you actually? Sorry for laughing. If you could control yourself, there wouldn't be anger. Anger came by itself, yeah. But anyway, it doesn't much matter. So if we really look, actually nobody can control us. It's just, like there's it's a bargain, you could say. Okay, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to do something to you. But in the end, we have to agree to that, or come on, go into that. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It's just like someone says, whatever, if you're at work and they say, if you don't do it like I say you should do it, then I'm going to fire you. You say, okay, well, it's like, I understand. And okay, if you need to fire me, then fire me. Whatever. They can't really, nobody can control us. It's just like a bargain we make because we want something.
Mm.
So in this case, what is it that you want to say you want, or what is it? What's the wanting from your side? I won't even say that you want, but there's some unacknowledged wanting.
To be trusted, to do the right thing.
Okay, so that's what's wanted from the unconscious patterns in you. So then, what price do you pay for that, or how does your system try to get that?
Mm. By ignoring people and sometimes swearing.
And does it get you to be trusted?
It gets them to go away.
Yeah. So the anger just as you could say, alerts our attention to that there's something going on, something going on. And it's an entrance point where we can look, okay, see, because anger is always about wanting something to be different. And supplying, the anger is trying to make it different, you could say like that. So is the anger directed at yourself, or is it directed outward, or both, inward and outward?
Outward.
Outward, yeah. So then you can see it wants someone else to be different. And you've identified you want them to trust you. And you can just look and see how that functions, if it's worth investing any more energy in. And that's the funny thing, is like with what looks like another person, to me, I would say that I can trust that if there's activation, they're gonna function existentially, fight, flight, or freeze. If there's enough maturity, an inquiry will happen. So I can trust everything to just done it.
So how do I let it be without expressing it?
Well, it's just through inquiry, just seeing what it is. It's like if there's mistrust coming from someone, how can you convince them that it's painful, or whatever? Somehow their perception is whatever it is. They see something, and maybe they don't see deeper, or maybe they see something on the surface. Who knows what someone sees? It's just, people see what they see. Can't do much about it.
I think the anger is actually that someone thinks they might be right.
So that's now it's kind of unfolding and seeing. If something in you thinks they might be right, then of course it's like there's layers to every inquiry. So, but it's like what we can pick up on when we meet someone is there's something that's beyond the whole game. And then there's automatic unconscious patterns or personality traits or whatever you want to call it. But when we meet someone, what blinds, say again?
Is this as easy as just seeing that it's pointless and then stepping back? Because I thought I would need a big release. And
no need to do anything, just to see. It's like the classic example is, you went mountain climbing or something, and you were abseiling and you had ropes and stuff, and you came home and you were exhausted, and you just threw the ropes in the corner of your room, and then you woke up at night and you forgot about and you suddenly see this rope, and your mind thinks it's a snake. And you get a big fright and you turn the light on, it's a rope. At that point, do you have to work on your fear of snakes, or you just is enough to see that it's a rope?
Okay.
So like all that happened, as you notice, anger came up. Cool. So anger, we just looked, anger has to do with wanting something to be different. That's from the perspective of the anger itself. Okay. What does it want? Want someone to be different or yourself to be different? Yeah. Okay, well, it's easy to kind of identify what is it that I want to be different and see, okay, wow, is it worth investing in that perspective? Because anger has never gotten anyone to be different, and it hurts. So. And you know, I doubt there's anyone who's never experienced anger. Maybe there might be someone there. I've never met them. Just to go, yes, it's like, so if you find a certain geology, you know, most likely there's oil there, or there's gold there, or whatever, you know, or there's diamonds. If there's anger, there's something, some energy tied up in a way that beautiful when it comes to peace, when it's seen, and it's, you know, so it's always hiding the jewel in a certain way. Wrong is not bad, but when we, you know, like very often this idea there's something wrong with me if anger comes up, that rather than recognizing it's an opportunity.
I'm just trying to get my head around the not processing thing, because I've been processing emotions for a long time.
Yeah, well, you know, you're welcome, but for me it's there's this idea of, you know, like screaming anger out. People tried it, it never worked.
Do you feel you, I'm sorry, do you feel you can deepen into this presence without processing and just seeing?
Just seeing, yeah. You know, like, yeah. You know, the presence is always here. It's just like, you know, to say it in another way, we perceive this moment through our senses. And just check it, that's a big statement, but how do we know there's a world or a universe or a bodying activity or anything? We perceive it through the senses. So what it means is it's a sensation. This moment is a sensation to us. Most often that sensation is interpreted through conditioning and trauma, and we end up with a perception. And so one way of speaking it, the only human drama is not wanting the sensations we're having. And usually that's an automatic unconscious movement. It's not something, you know, it's like, hey, universe, this isn't the way I thought life should be, you know. It's, I mean, that's, if you see it like that, it's crazy. You know, it's like, it's just pure arrogance. It's like, is just here. And so the emotions are always, the word itself means a movement away from, with motion. So the emotions are always some movement to get away from the sensations. And oftentimes involved in it is that interpretation and the, you know, the trauma-informed perception. Nothing right about it, nothing wrong about it. It's just the way it functions, and it, you know, it gives us a clue. Okay, there's emotion, whatever it is. Okay, cool. What is it? What's going on there? Because emotions are loud usually.
Yeah.
And so we don't really notice, okay, it's a movement away from something. It's not wanting something or wanting something. Either one, it's the same thing, actually, wanting or not wanting. And trying to get it through anger. And then, you know, if you look always underneath anger, there's some sense of powerlessness, there's some sense of sadness. I mean, it's always layers on it. But ultimately, we're just interested in being at peace. We're not interested in running with all that stuff.
Do you find emotionally things get easier over time?
I don't find anything.
Sorry, dropped out.
I don't find anything. Otherwise, it sounds like this, somewhere to get to, or some there's not much to hold on to, actually. For me, I love exploring. Like, so trust comes up. What is trust? It's like,
Trust that I will do what you want, kind of thing.
It boils down. I mean, when you sit down, for example, I guess we've all maybe sat on a chair that gave way underneath us, but we always, when you sit down, you look to see if that chair can hold your weight. Something does that. Or, it's like when you cross the road, you look to see if there's a car coming or a bicycle or something. So it's like if there's a car coming, you can't walk out in front of it and say, I trust nothing's going to happen. That would be naivety, yeah, stupid. Yeah. So it's really like, in a way, it's trusting our unknown. When you meet someone and there's a sensing, okay, there's something going on in that person and there's an upset or whatever, we sense it. We know. And then if you try and trust it to be peaceful when you can sense there's an upset, that's out of tune, actually, basically. So we trusting our unknowing, we trusting our unseen, not this, trusting something to be the way we think it should be.
Yeah.
Something beyond everything. It's just is there anger now, or has it changed?
There's sensations, but just I'm kind of noticing the thoughts that don't want to be in peace and stepping back. Thank you again.
Welcome. Thank you. Philomena. Philomena. Hi. Philomena, if you want to speak, on the bottom left, there's a little red thing you need to click on.
Oh, I'm
Yep.
sorry, Isaac. That I was waving to a person outside of the window. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No worries. No worries
I'm
at
sorry.
all. Nice. Hello. Good to see you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm so grateful that we are all together and that
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
staying with you. So that's really nice. So of course, and it's very nice. It's okay on this moment with me. So thank you.
Yeah. I'm happy to hear.
Okay.
Emily.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Emmy.
Hi. Mm. Mm. I don't see you anymore. I see you.
Okay.
I see a small
How's
picture
that?
of you. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's
Here you
better.
are.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very difficult to raise my hand. some fear and everything came up. But what I would like to look at is when there's a lot of activation when someone criticizes me, when they say I'm doing something wrong, or there is some accusing me of doing something which I at that moment know for sure I didn't do. But the activation is actually the most problematic, not what they are saying, but the strong activation that comes up in me. Yeah. And I
Just
know.
for fun, let's go to gallery view for a moment. How many people notice activation when there's criticism? You can just. Seems like there's a few of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see how personal it is to you, yeah?
Yeah, that's good to see. Yeah, that's yeah. But still,
So
I
you know,
understand
like
it's
yes. So it's kind of generic. It's like in a way, criticism. It can touch many things, you know, because for some of us, we were criticized a lot when we were growing up. So it can touch all kinds of old information, but even, you know, any criticism is telling somebody that they're not okay, just the way they are. So it's, in a way, it's like a slap, an energetic slap. It's usually, you know, like in your own experience, when criticism happens, we actually have the idea that the criticism is helpful to help somebody be different, but it doesn't work.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's in a sense, it's like if I have to say it in the language, it's like you're not the way that I think you should be, and I'm upset with that. That's what criticism is, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's an upset and it's projected. So then what's interesting is to see, okay, well, that touches something. Whatever it touches, okay, it touches something. And the depth of the touch, you know, can have to do with, like I say, you know, old information where we were traumatized by that kind of attention, or it can have to do with there's a lot of different responses that can come, you know. It's just but you know, for me, the big question is, what does it have to do with me? If there's criticism, it just means that at that moment, whoever's vomiting the criticism is not at peace in themselves, and they're projecting that onto me. So, but what also doesn't have to do with me is how my system responds to it. Whatever comes up there is just what comes up. But if you know, if there's clarity in me, it's just like, look, it doesn't mean anything about me. It's just that someone's not feeling good, actually. I'm thinking that they know how I should be so that they can feel okay.
Yeah. I was just so worried with my strong reactions to it.
And even to say my strong reaction, you know, if someone projects onto you and it touches something, I'd be surprised if it doesn't touch anything, depending on, you know, who it is that's projecting. But I mean, even sometimes when you're just driving and someone gets pissed and flips you a finger or something like that, hey, that's not nice. But again, it's the same thing. It's just plain ping pong,
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, systems respond how they respond. What can we do? We can be gentle with it.
Okay.
Ah, good.
Hello, Isaac.
Hi, Govinda.
Good to see you. As I connect with you, there are hardly words. It's just energy somehow. Anyway, I would like to investigate personal doership. Can you help with that again?
Yeah, we can easy to play with that. I mean, look, this moment right now. What we call the bodying activity, trillions of cells doing their thing, yeah? Trillions. Breathing is happening, digesting is happening, new cells are being born, old cells are dying. And then there's a little activity going on, which says, should I have a cappuccino or a latte, that thinks it's in charge of everything. And so that thinking activity, because it's a fun thing to play with. It's like, okay, the way we speak, we say, I breathe, I think. But if you look, if you say, okay, I'm not going to think for 5 minutes, you'll see thinking happens and nobody's doing it. There's awareness of it, but who's doing it? So the sense of personal doership, it is fun to really explore deeply into that. We're resting here, and then what is the sense of personal doership? What is it in this moment? Some sense that there's a me here. Ideas come, I mean, that happens, but we don't do them. They just seem to come by themselves and maybe leave by themselves. Interests come. Sometimes there's a movement with them, sometimes not.
somehow there's a sense of being someone, somebody.
Yeah.
In contrast to the world, to others.
As we're resting here now, let's just see if we can this resting, and there's the capacity to notice some things. If you're a yogi, maybe you notice your breath. If you or we learn to notice discomfort or emotions or that's just
Sensations.
resting. Sensations and interpretations. I like, I don't like. Taking positions, whatever. Otherwise, it's just quiet. You know? Just no one here, nowhere to go, nothing to accomplish. Yeah.
Yes, fear coming. Which seems to,
So noticing happened.
yeah,
Noticing of a sense, like noticing of a sensation and then a labeling. Okay, that's fear.
Mm.
And then maybe some thoughts, what is that about? What do I have to do about
seems very personal.
it? Yeah.
My own
Yeah.
fear,
Yeah.
my personal fear.
Yeah.
It's the story, the narrative, my fear.
Mm-hmm. So here we are. And in fact, we don't know what's going on right now. It's a big statement, just check it and see. We don't know what's going on with our bodies. We don't know what's going on in the universe. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes in politics. We don't know what's going on in anybody else. We just, yeah. And then ideas come more, perceptions, and thinking we know, but actually we don't know anything. We don't know. But yet then we think, okay, something bad could happen or something, I don't know. Then we feel fear. Otherwise, fear maybe comes up if there's a real danger, something, you know, like suddenly there's a bear in the room. I don't know where you live with, what could be dangerous there, but fire, maybe. Other than that, it's like no reason for it. You know, but it's an interesting thing. If you watch the news or something like that, where you could say there's a whole orientation to try and vibrate the fear body, you know, get people afraid. This might happen, or this will happen, whatever it is. You know? Fear porn. And that we just, yeah.
When resting is happening, then all this doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, again, this to speak so simply, all we have are the sensations of this moment. And we haven't been conditioned or invited to really just be present to the sensations and enjoy them as the beloved, as a caress, as love. But it doesn't take energy or effort. It's simple. It's just like, you know, we can you look at beauty, and easy to enjoy, but so, you know, it's like, what makes this moment beautiful? Just, to me, it seems just a way of relating to it, the habit of attention, that our attention receives the moment. Yeah? Mostly our attention has been conditioned to be very narrow, very small, yeah? And very involved with trying to be happy in the future, running after thoughts. That's been the conditioning. Yeah, funny. If I run hard enough, suffer, then someday maybe I'll be happy. I'll have what I want.
Which seems to come from a huge sense of lack.
Yeah. And if we look, all anybody has are the sensations of now. Nobody has more than that. That's it. That's what we have. And when we're enjoying it, then all is well. Everything is beautiful. When our mind or our thought tells us no, I should be different, it should be different, they should be different, then there's suffering.
Thanks.
Thanks, Govinda. Inga. Hi.
Hi.
And again, just did anyone get any value from just speaking about, just to see? So That's true. Okay, again, just curious, does anyone get any value out of that? Just playing with that, yeah. Thanks, beloveds. Thanks, boss, for hosting. Thanks for showing up and exploring, playing. Have a beautiful